Hello, this is Tony Lombardo with Freddie Green Style Comping, Volume 4. If you remember, Volumes 1, 2, and 3 were all done on electric tenor guitar. I had my Gibson ETG 150 plugged in, and I was showing you how I comp Freddie Green Style when I do jobs with that instrument. And I typically do it on two strings, on the C string and the G string. That instrument's tuned C, G, D, A, as you might remember. I'm going to do Volume 4 on electric guitar. I know Freddie didn't plug in and he wasn't amplified, but most of the time, but I am, and I've got to play. I want to do it the way I do it on a live situation. So I've got my old Gibson Super 400 here, played through a ZT Lunchbox Junior amp, and that's typically that's the amp I'll use on really small gigs. On the bigger gigs, I'll use a 80s Polytone Mini Brute 2, which is a single 12-inch speaker. What I found for me in live situations is I have the least chance of getting in trouble if I play on strings 6, 4, and 3. I mute out the 5th, and I mute out the 1st, and I mute out the 2nd. That's how I play Freddie Green Style comping. Now, if I'm doing other kind of comping, that's not necessarily the case. If I really want some lush chords, I might strum all of them, or 5 of them. But for the Freddie Green approach, I will do 3 strings. And so I want to show you what I do in terms of that, just in terms of one chord shape. I'm going to show you this chord shape here, and I hope this is in the camera range here. I've got my middle finger on the 3rd fret, 6th string, first finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, third finger on the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and I'm muting out the 5th, 2nd, 1st. And that chord can be used about 10 different ways. It's unbelievable. I'm going to show you 3 ways to use it. 3 of the ways I use it the most often. One is I use it as a dominant 7th chord. Like here at the 3rd fret, that'd be a C7. 8th fret would be a F7. 5th fret would be a D7. And what I've got in this conception is I've got my 5th in the bass. It's 3rd fret, that's a G, that's my 5 of C7. On the 4th string, 2nd fret, that's my E, that's a 3rd of my chord, and the ring finger's playing the B flat, that's the flat 7. So there's no root in this chord. And this chord's very cool because I can still do a version of that 7-3-3-7 move that we talked about so much in volumes 1 through 3. If I go back 1 fret, I get a 4 chord that's also dominant. I'm going from C7, and I go back 1 fret, and I got F7 flat 9, and my flat 9 is in the bass. And so, of course, if I go back to my C7 and go up 1 fret, I got my 5 chord, G7 flat 9. And that's really nice. Now, another way you can use this chord is as a diminished chord. I got a G and E and a B flat. Well, if we're talking about a G diminished, we're talking about, as you know, 1, flat 3, flat 5, double flat 7. That's G, B flat, D flat, and E. Well, I've got all of those except my D flat, so I've got 3 of the 4 notes I need. Now, if you don't know much about diminished chords, let me just tell you, since they're all a minor third apart, if I want to make any of those the root, the chord spelling is going to work out. Like, let's call it an E diminished. Okay, well, same chord. The G is going to be my minor third. The E is going to be the root. The B flat is going to be my flat 5. If I want to call it a B flat diminished, that's fine, same deal. B flat, the G on the bass string is the double flat 7 or the 6th. The E is the flat 5, and the B flat is the root. So I've got four diminished chords right here with that little 3-finger chord. And of course, every time you go up 3 frets, you replicate it. Alright, the third way that I would use this chord in Freddie Green style comping is as a minor 6th chord. G minor 6, you got G as the root, E is the 6th, B flat is the flat 3rd. And minor 6 chords are useful in so many different ways. One way I use them a lot is when you do that little moving minor thing where you go from the minor to the minor major 7 to the minor 7 to the minor 6th. That would be the 4th chord in that little run. Think about songs like Yesterday's, In a Sentimental Mood, What Are You Doing for the Rest of Your Life, My Funny Valentine. All of those chords, all of those songs use that chord progression, and the great thing, and that is the 4th of those chords, the minor 6. Now the cool thing is, a lot of people will substitute on the last chord of that 4-chord run. Instead of playing a minor 6th, they'll go up a 4 chord and play dominant 7. So it'd be G minor major 7, G minor 7, C7, or really C9, but either one. Well, if you do that in G, well gosh, we already said that's a C7, so that works perfectly. So it'd be G minor major 7, G minor 7, and in that nice C7. Now if you really wanted to play it out fully, you could play a C9 and add the pinky on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. But like I said, for my concept of Freddie Green style comping, I like to use string 6, 4, and 3 only, because that's the way I can get closest to what I hear on those old Count Basie records. Remember, we're using 4 downstrokes to the bar. We're choking up and down to get that nice swingy pulse. There's lots of other chords, obviously. There's major 7s, minor 7s. There's so many different shapes. But this one, the one we just did, that's a really good start, and you can go a long way with that one. All right, thanks a lot, and look forward to seeing you on Volume 5.